Hello there, I'm Paul of Glavind Strachan Photography, and I've been asked several times now to try and explain some of the ways I go about things. I'm pretty good at doing that in person and fairly inexperienced of doing these sort of things with video. So bear with me and let's see how it goes. I shoot all of my stuff on vintage lenses. In this case it's a Super Takumar 50mm f1.4. Gives you some really interesting bokeh, lots of lens flare, and generally lots of imperfections. I always keep a bin bag in my pocket so that you can lie down even when it's soggy and wet. Gives you some really interesting angles. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, my raw file's really overexposed, but I've managed to sort it all out in Lightroom and Photoshop later on. Looks pretty good. Obviously, none of my lenses have autofocus, but I think that's one of the things that gives you a lot more freedom. It means you've got to be a bit more creative. If you look closely at the edit here, you might notice that I've taken out some of the lighter areas around the edge of the image. I do enjoy a rather nice vignette. Bluebells. Not really any way of getting a bad photograph of a bluebell, to be honest. I have succeeded on occasion. Most of my photography tends to be about keeping your eyes open, trying to look at things from a slightly different viewpoint, making the best use of weird and wonderful older lenses, and then tinkering a little bit in post-production. Well, it's time to pat yourself on the back for successfully reaching the end of my first ever YouTube video. I've penciled in some ideas for future videos, maybe looking at some of the older lenses I use, or perhaps some of the editing techniques. But if anyone's got any questions or any ideas for videos they'd like to see, just let me know. And don't forget, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.